Hour of the Pat McDonough Show, hour number 2. 2 hours of power for you.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Pat McDonough here, Super Citizen Radio, along with our friend Tony Campbell, who is running for the top job in the Republican Party, which is the chair of the Republican Party, and that election's coming up in a couple of weeks. And
yes,
also,
sir.
I want to tell you about a couple of other, and we're going to get into the governor's race and Republican politics in Maryland. And I'm going to tell you, you better listen in, because there's a lot of stuff going on you don't know about, and you're not going to hear about it anywhere, okay? Except for folks like Tony, who's an insider, and of course I'm an insider. Now, Valerie left the building. Where did Valerie go? Do we know?
I think she went to Greener Pastures.
She just gets up and leaves. I don't know. Does she have an office in the back or something?
I'm not allowed to say.
I don't know where she goes.
Sorry, Senator, I have no recollection of that conversation.
Well, she'll be back in a minute. But a couple of things we want to tell you about. Super Citizen, our database is growing tremendously. I will venture to say we are the fastest growing conservative organization in the state of Maryland, without question. Our numbers are getting so big. And we've had 2 events. Of course, the virus has slowed us down, but even despite the virus, we've had 2 events in the past 3 months, maybe 4, and they've both been sold out. So on December the 19th, which is a Saturday, we're having a wonderful breakfast at the Columbus Gardens. Yes, Christopher Columbus, remember him? That's the guy that the Democrats have
statue?
Yeah, the statue.
Yeah.
But we're going to have this wonderful breakfast. It's going to be from 9 till 12 at the Columbus Gardens on the 19th. We'll be sending the mailer out next week. You'll be getting the mailer. And this is a big hall, so we can get a lot of people in here. We're going to have a very good Christmas atmosphere. Oh, she's returned. Thank you for coming back.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes.
And by the way, all COVID guidelines will be enforced.
Yes, and that's why we picked a very big hall, because we expect a big crowd. So that's December the 19th. You can find out about it. Do you know if Frank put that up on the...
Yes, it's on the website.
It's on the website, which is supercitizenusa.com. And, of course, you can call me at the office, 410-238-0025. And, yes,
And I will also be posting it on Valerie McDonough,
What is that?
my website.
You have a website
Facebook. My Facebook website. Yeah, Valerie
All
McDonough.
right now. Okay. So anyway, we'll let you know. We're letting you know ahead of time.
Woo!
Receive it in the mail. But let me talk to my friend Bob in Parkville. He wants to talk about student loans for college. I want to get that out of the way because we want to get back to this other subject, but I don't want Bob to hold too long. Bob, good evening.
Good evening. I hope every one of you had a nice Thanksgiving.
Hello, Bob. Bob, are you there?
Thank you. I want to talk about student loans for college. You know, it's a racket, man. And you remember when it first started, Pat, it was the banks handled that, not the federal government. The federal government took it away from the
Yeah, President Obama, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this should be treated as a simple thing. All loans through a bank have to have collateral. Now, if you want to go to college, I don't care if you want to spend $50,000 or $200,000 for 4 years. You're going to pay it back one way or the other. And if you can't pay it back at the very beginning, we're going to get Daddy to sign as a co-signer. So if you quit, regardless of when you quit, the burden's going to be on him and his home, your home.
Well,
That's the way it's got to be done.
well, there's no such thing as free college or free anything.
That's true.
Somebody's paying.
That's true. The American taxpayer should not have to pay anything toward 1 through 12 is bad enough, but college education. I went to night school at the University of Baltimore, and I worked during the day, and I had my mother with me at the time. I paid for everything in that apartment. My mother she wanted to pay one half the food bill. This is 30, 40 years, over 40 years ago. I paid for everything else, Dad, the rent, everything. And because this is my mom, I wasn't going to My sister was a heavy alcoholic, so she came to live with me.
Yeah, so he's trying to help out, right?
That's right. But this business, this is once again another federal program that has no legs to stand on. Because if you drop out after half a year or a year, who the hell is going to pay for that? It's going to be me and you and everybody else.
Well, it's a big subject, Bob. There's a lot to it, and it's going to be a real important subject because Biden and the administration, they're going to be, really pushing this thing.
Right. And it's $2 trillion for the climate change, and Kerry's going to be the head of it as a czar. This is a racket, man. If you can't put money up at the very beginning for your father or whoever as a co-signer, you don't get the deal. If you can't afford it at the very beginning, you go to evening school like I did, and my brother from World War II.
All right, Bob. Thank you very much for the call. Yeah, it's a big subject, but let's get back to Tony's situation. So Tony is running for the top job. There's 3 people running, 2 besides Tony, including the incumbent. And I want to talk about, and this is interesting, I bet 99% of the Republicans listening to this show didn't realize that within the dynamics of the Republican Party in Maryland, you have a Trump group, a regular traditional GOP, I guess, and you have these Hogan sycophants. Do people know? Look that up. Google that, sycophants or psychophants. You can take it either way. It's good. Sounds good either way. Now, why anybody at this point who is in the Republican Party, who believes in Republican principles, or anyone who is certainly a Trump, and Valerie and I are Trumpers, make no mistake about that, would in any way, shape, or form or support Hogan. I mean, that's been a hell of an experience. So, Tony, let's say you win the job. Your top priority would be to try to bring these people together.
Well, I think the top priority, again, is figuring out what party we're going to be in 2022 moving forward, right?
Now,
the messaging, talking about issues and those kind of things. I think the second thing is that's important is redistricting.
Oh, that's huge.
Because 10 years ago we went through this with O'Malley gerrymandered, jacked up congressional map. Yeah, that we're still
the worst one. John Sarbanes, right, according to the Wall Street Journal, the worst district in the entire United States.
Right. The 3-judge panel that I was a part of that court case and said that it was a broken-wing pterodactyl. That's how jacked up it looked.
Not only just a pterodactyl, a broken wing.
Right. So, I mean, that's the second issue is that, can we get single-member districts on that?
Not going to.
Well, I think that from what the governor says, he's going to try it.
He can try, but the governor has.
But
no
the legislature's going to have
yes,
the final pass of
governor.
Yeah, let's put ahead,
no authority. He claims he does. He tells people, and his followers use that sort of to influence support for the governor. But under the system, the governor, he can form the commission, he can submit an idea. The Democrat machine controls the governor, and it controls the legislature, and it controls the redistricting, right, to a point. Now, what happens is that they will redraw the lines. Now, here's there's 2 problems with that we haven't had in the past in Maryland. The first problem is, under the old Democrat system, where they were pretty much they were very liberal in Maryland. We all know that, but they were fairly normal. If you had Bush and you had Miller in charge, Miller was the president of the Senate, Bush was the House Speaker, and people called me for 20 years on radio. Please, Pat, can we get rid of these people? If we could get rid of them, and I told people at the time,
you don't want to get rid of Bush or Miller because they're actually moderates.
You will long for the good old days. Right. But to give you a classic example of what I mean by that, Bush and Miller, they would all sit down with their people, their power brokers, on redistricting. And if they were alive today, I'm saying this is what would happen, and they would sit down and say, "Look, we have to leave Harris alone. We've got to leave Harris alone because we've got to give them some kind of token. Maybe we'll do a little bit in the Western Maryland district where they might think they will have a chance, but that's it. We're not going to destroy them, even though we could. Okay, we're not going to." But that was under Miller and Bush. But now under, I forgot the guy's name in the Senate, but Adrian Jones and the guy in the Senate, plus all the knuckleheads that kind of control them, they are radicals who want to bury us all first. face down.
Right.
Now, when they sit down and have their meeting, and some moderate,
Brother Fred!
there's no such thing as a moderate, some old liberal Democrat says, well, we have to keep Andy Harris and give him a chance. They're going to say, no way, you got to be kidding, we're going to bury him.
Yeah, we're gonna cross the Chesapeake Bay and
Yeah, we're going to destroy him. So that's the first thing we're up against.
Right.
Well, the first thing is the governor has no power. The second thing is, now here's the third thing that's bad. The Supreme Court made a decision on this stuff, on gerrymandering, and the decision was kind of complicated, but it boiled down to the local politicians, like here in Maryland, have the best knowledge of their states and their population.
Brother Fred, I hope you had a
and
nice
therefore,
Thanksgiving.
A great deal of weight must be given to their decision. That is kind of like the decision in general.
Well, it seems. I think this court may be a little bit different
If we can get it in there,
if we can get it there, and there's
And I
If we can
think
get it
all
in
right.
there,
cases that would be about partisan gerrymandering, because even the last court, their decision, they said that they were not in favor of overt partisan gerrymandering, but they were not going to take the step to actually override
exactly.
the local elected officials.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And that's good for Texas, where we have Republicans in charge, but it ain't good for the extremist state of Maryland. So, but you are right about where we might get some compensation or some help and mitigation is if we can get it into this court, because Justice Barrett will make the difference, because she's inclined to be against gerrymandering.
Right.
So that could help, and we could do it there. But otherwise, I think it's going to be very bad. It's going to be very bad.
1 minute.
Well, I think that we had several maps that we put around about 10 years ago. One of the maps was created in the majority-minority district in Montgomery County.
Is that a congressional district?
Yeah, I had a good one, baby. I had a nice
That
Thanksgiving.
created a Republican-leaning district in
Whoa.
St. Mary's, Charles, and Calvert, in that part of the state. So
Me and Betsy
now,
Bootsy.
do I think that's ever going to see the light of day? No. But,
Saw the parade.
What 10 years ago?
And then we saw the International Dog Show.
Initiative.
Betsy
we
liked
actually
that.
Put it on the ballot.
That was great.
So did I.
And then what then happened was that because there was an O'Malley administration, they controlled the Secretary of State's office, which then controlled the wording that was on the ballot.
Which destroyed it.
Which destroyed it was destroyed, of course. But at least this time, at least my hope is that one of the things that I hope the governor can do is, through their Secretary of State's office, put at least decent wording on the ballot, if we get that far. So,
But is it up to the Secretary of State?
It's up to the Secretary of State's
or
office.
does right. Now, here's the other thing. What was the world-famous comment that Charlton Heston made about Second Amendment?
Get your damn hands off me, you damn dirty apes. That one?
That was the one, yeah.
No. Take it from my cold, dead hands.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, in order to get my gun,
Right.
Yeah.
my firearm, you have to remove it from my cold dead hand, something like
That's
that.
right. Yeah, that's what he
Which
said.
is pretty emphatic, right?
Yeah.
Well, my Democrat contact,
But the other one was good too.
pretty reliable. They said that as far as single-member districts are concerned, it's kind of in that ballpark.
Right.
We will have to get it from our cold dead hands, because if there's one thing they are totally opposed to, are single-member districts.
Right.
So I don't think that's going anywhere. You can hope, I guess, and I don't know. But anyway, so you want to figure out a way, obviously, to unify and build this party.
Yeah, well, let's look at last year. So Catherine Pugh has her Healthy Holly books, and I was one of the few people that actually did media, right, on all the local TV stations, did the petition. Now,
I got another viewpoint on
yeah,
that.
I don't think that my activism
That's good.
caused the removal of Catherine Pugh, but I think that joined a chorus of other folks that were talking about the fact that her totally unethical, mayorship,
yeah.
had to go, and so then that led to we had really great candidates this year in Baltimore City. We had
That was amazing.
Giovanni Patterson, who ran for city council president.
Love that guy.
Got
Yeah.
19%. I called him like the next day. It's like I know you're feeling down, but man, when I ran against Sheila Dixon in 1999,
Yeah.
I only got 11%. So you smoked my numbers, and so that made him feel a little bit better. But we got a great.
We got to keep. See, that's your job,
That's-
right there.
that's building the party.
You've got to keep them together.
Right.
Now, and there were very good candidates, for different office, different lot of city council people, and I have pledged to them, and you can carry this with you. Super Citizen is not a Republican; it's a conservative, patriotic organization. 30% of our membership are Democrats, which is good. Okay, they're conservative Democrats, but I have told those young people that we will do everything in our power at Super Citizen. We will bring them on radio. We will put them on television. We will market them. We will do everything we can for them. We have something we're going to maybe not be able to talk about tonight, but it's going to be, as Donald Trump would say, huge. It's going to be bigly, and that's our Freedom Day celebration that we're working on. And I want them to be a big part of it. I want you to be a big part of it, too, because, I mean, besides a Republican, I know you're a patriotic American. And I know you were in the military. Were you in our military?
In our military?
Yeah, the
In the
US.
United States of America?
Yeah, you were there.
Well, I was in the Army, so that was the real military. I don't know about these Navy and Air Force guys.
I'm worse than that.
Oh.
I was in the reserve.
I can't say anything about the Marines because Marines do some real
You
work.
don't want to say anything about the Marines, believe me.
They do real work.
But anyway, so I know you're a patriot, and you're a super citizen, even though we would never have you as a member, but you are a super citizen because you're very active. You're active in everything. You care about stuff. As long as I've known you, you care about stuff all the time. You try. You never sit on the sidelines. But, but that's a perfect example that I have always advocated.
I love it. Are you dying? I'm
Some people say to
dying.
me, you were a Donald Trump before his first wife. You were a Donald Trump in Maryland. But I did the same thing with Dallas Stance, who I liked personally, but Dallas Stance had violated the law. And he came down to Annapolis to speak to the Baltimore County delegation, and the president of the Board of Education in Baltimore County came with him, which is not unusual. They come down and they inform us and stuff like that. And he had been charged in the newspapers with violating the ethics by going out and doing stuff on the side that he didn't report, and he got money for it. So he was sitting, and he's sitting like as far away as you are from me. I can't remember the president. It was a lawyer. It was the president of the board. And I said to Dallas, I said, Mr. Superintendent, do you agree that you violated the ethics laws? And he said, no, I don't think I did. And then I said to the president of the board, I said,
Oh
do you think the superintendent violated the ethics laws? And he says, yes, I did. And I said, well, what are you going to do about it? He said, well, we have no plans at this time. I went to the ethics board and filed a case. And I won the case.
Right.
5 minutes over.
3 minutes later, 3 months. He's just talking about coming 3 minutes.
5.
The producer threw me off on that one. 3 months or so later, the special prosecutor started an investigation. Now, eventually they indicted Dallas, and he went to jail. So I'm at the special, one of the guys that worked for the special prosecutor in Annapolis, because they hang around down there. And he said, you know, we began our case because of you.
Too good.
I said, what? He said, because of that ethics charge. That was successful. So no one in the world, I'm one person out of 6 million people in the state, would file an
One out of
ethics charge. And I
six,
filed
my
it
baby.
and won the case. So that's
Betsy
like what you were
Bootsy's looking
talking
at me in
about.
the
And
hall.
we've, as a party, we've got to be doing more of that. But we're going to take a break. Is that right, Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back. We're going to talk some more about these issues, and to some degree with the governor's impact, and also what
Yes,
they
sir.
did in
Yes, sir.
Texas.
It's 3 bags
Talk a little
full.
bit about that. We'll be right back. When your vehicle needs help, Jeff's Automotive Services is the place to go. Your vehicle will be worked on by Automotive Service ASE certified technicians. Jeff services all vehicles, including cars, SUVs, trucks, both medium and light duty, and there are always specials available at Jeff's Automotive Services. Just call 410-682-5700. Jeff's Automotive Services is locally owned and conveniently located in the heart of Essex at 313 Mace Avenue. Jeff's is the winner of the best.
Let me explain something to you.
2019.
Benny's Produce. You want some good produce? Go to Ben's Produce, okay? Dial 410-799-1833. Call it Ben and Sedano, the best produce around. It's family. Johnny D, you want to go to a nice lounge? You want to have the parties coming up for Christmas? You got parties coming up? Go to Johnny D's Lounge, okay? Johnny D's is 1705 on Moose Sky Road, Parkville, Maryland, 21234, okay? You go check that out. 410-665-7000. That's 410-665-7000. Johnny D's Lounge, 1705 on Moose Sky Road, Parkville, Maryland, 21234. 34. Give him a call at 410-665-7000. Tell him Ron Savage sent you. You got a broken toilet tiles, anything else, go to Vince's Tile Works, please. Vince's Tile Works. Call Vince Palmer. He's the owner and the operator. Go to Facebook and see his work. He's always in the bathroom, and he don't have a bowel problem. He's got a happy problem. That's fixing your bathroom. Tiles, everything you want. Shower, name it. Talk to Vince. Vince Palmer, owner and the operator. Vince's Tile Works. Go check him out on Facebook. You want a t-shirt? I'll give you a t-shirt. Go see, go to my friend Blue Fish Apparel on Facebook. The Book of the Face. Call or visit Steve Bluford at 443-278-4853. That's 443-278-4853. Hey, wear a t-shirt. I know we already had a commercial about this already, but I'll tell you something right now about the Krabby Greek. He's not only a great restaurant, he's a good friend. And that's Krabby Greek right there, the best crab cakes in town. Listen, 502 Washington Avenue. That's right there in Towson. It's right in the alley. Go up the alley. You check it out. You're not going to get robbed. It's a nice alley. So go check him out, the Krabby Greek, okay? He's open up from Saturdays from 4 to 10 o'clock and has a nice DJ day tonight. Everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? And also, from Greek style octopus to, geez, with a 6-ounce crab cake. That's excellent. What else can you do? For more information about this, 410-494-9144. That's 410-494-9144. Go Greek tonight. Get a crab cake and an octopus. You can't beat it. Woo! Surf and turf, we'll call it that.
What would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true?
Also,
To help them fight a critical illness. Just imagine what you do.
Columbus Day.
Wishes were so powerful.
Columbus Day, look at it, Saturday, December 19th. Pat's going to be there at the Columbus Gardens at the VFW Hall at the 19th, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m.
One of us can make the stars
Go check them out.
because when we come together,
All right. Coming back to the show, baby.
wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish@wish.org.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM and worldwide at WCBM.com.
Okay, we are back. So, Tony, we're talking about the redistricting. Let's talk about the candidate for governor, if we're going to have one. I'm sure we will, obviously.
Sure we will.
What does the lineup look like at this point, in your opinion?
I think it depends on what Boyd Rutherford wants to do. I think everybody's kind of waiting and see. Known Boyd for decades, and I think that he's a very competent manager. He knows the government forwards and backwards. The question's always been about Boyd. Does he have the fireman bill?
He's a nice man. He's a nice
Yeah,
man. He's a nice man.
To be top of the ticket and have the energy and have the it factor to run for governor. And I think that Kelly Schultz and the other folks are just waiting to see what Boyd's going to do.
So these are the two major candidates that are being talked about right now, which doesn't mean they're going to wind up being the candidate.
Right.
Well, my comment on Boyd is certainly he's competent. He's been lieutenant governor for 8 years. Whether or not he also has, I think, I don't know him that well, I know him, but my opinion is he's a bright guy, and he has a very good idea of what's going on in this state politically, and he knows it's a tough uphill battle at best, and that may make him think, I don't know how old Boyd is, but I mean, he may, I would, in his position, think, I don't know if this is worth this or not, so he may or may not be a candidate.
Well, I think it depends, too, about what the Democrats are going to do, because, I mean, everybody's talking about Peter Franchot running, but the progressives don't like Peter Franchot at all.
No, that could not.
I mean, that could be a really
There's
bloody
no
primary.
guarantee there. There's no guarantee there. The other hand, Kelly Schultz, Kelly, of course, is a woman. I think she had some problems during her tenure, during her administration. How deep they are and where that
How
would go.
deep they
in the
are.
election part. But I think on the Republican side, you may see a surprising challenge from conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that is not really
Listen to
known,
this.
which
This
is
is terrific,
Trump
terrific
was known,
stuff,
of
I'm
course,
telling
but
you.
he was not in politics. You may see someone that's not in politics.
Well, and I think that's possible. Well, look at 2014. David Craig was the person that everybody knew as far as party insiders.
I had experience 10 years as
Right.
county executive.
And worked at central committees, went to the conventions, and had did all that stuff. And Larry Hogan came out of nowhere.
Right. Well, Hogan ran a very smart campaign, very bright campaign.
Right.
Raised a lot of money using the system where he used government money, taxpayers' money, but he was in a position where he had so many contacts that he could build that up to a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if David Craig ever used that system or not.
No, well, I think that Craig and his people thought that they had it in the bag, and they just got totally blindsided by Hogan's campaign apparatus. They didn't even see it coming.
Yeah. So, but I think that could happen again today. And I think the other thing is too. I believe there is growing within the Republican Party a very strong resentment towards Larry Hogan, particularly since the president may have lost this election and he voted for Ronald Reagan or his daddy the first time. And I mean, I get out on the streets and I'll tell you one thing about Valerie and I know you're kind of in this category too, but we go everywhere. I mean, last Saturday, we were at 3 different events and saw over 1,000 people. So if we talk to people, and people come up and talk to us because I'm on radio or television, they know who I am, they don't hesitate. They want to come up and talk to me, and they give me their opinion, like I'm a father confessor, a priest or something. And I can tell you, Hogan's popularity, I don't care what these polls say, and our good friend is Patrick Gonzalez, been on the show a lot they don't like Hogan, and especially after this election, they don't like Hogan. Now, that's going to rub off on administration people. I don't know how strong it
WCBM,
would
the
be,
McDONOUGH
but
server,
it's there.
it's
It's a
phone.
factor, and it'll rub off on the governor. So I think the governor...
Oh!
The problem is,
There we go, Will.
this state has gotten so much worse in terms
I'm
of
doing-
voter registration.
Thank you so much. I did.
I mean, at first we had to put up with the dumb
me and
vote in
Betsy, we
Baltimore
ate our
City.
turkey, and
Then we had to
watched
put up with
International
Prince George's
Golf
and
Show.
Montgomery.
Santa Claus
Now it's
comes
Howard.
down.
Now it's creeping into
Oh, she's right here. She's in a,
Frederick's
roll.
Southern Maryland.
Already turned.
Yeah. So it's going to
I'm
be
a
very,
princess,
very
get over
difficult
it.
for any Republican to run for governor.
Well, actually, I don't think so. I think the number.
Because
What
right now I
gives
got
me
guests
hope
going
is
into
that
them, but when they
in
go,
Baltimore City is
I get that little blanket.
I think what happened between Kim Clayton's campaign
I have a picture of
Lonnie
my
Patterson.
Hey, what do you want to talk about? Because I got you on next.
and the anti-Brandon Scott vote, right? Because between Shannon Wright and Bob Watson, I think,
Yeah.
they got 30%.
Hold on,
So,
Will. The next
so
one.
20. I think there's a baseline of 25% that we have a Republican candidate runs it.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Dad, now I'm going to go get popcorn. Hold on.
We'll get 25%.
Okay, hold on.
I don't think
you
those are
can.
Hogan numbers anymore. I think those are baseline Republican numbers. And if we do that, that means they got to jack up the numbers in Prince George's and Montgomery County.
I'll tell you another thing that might benefit also is the fact that the president wants to run for re-election. He wants to run a 4-year
He
campaign.
might be running in 2024.
Well, listen, he'll be 58, 78, he'll be the same age as Biden is now. And of course, Andrew Jackson, his hero, did the same thing when he lost his first election.
Well, didn't Coolidge didn't he do the same thing?
No, Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland did. Yeah, right.
Grover Cleveland was the 22nd
Right,
and the 24th
24th
president. But anyway, yeah, the president is determined to win the Senate, and then we're going to take back the House. 22, the House belongs to us, and that will put up a wall of obstruction against Biden and that whole crew, although a president has a lot of power to do a lot of other things without the Congress. But that is going to help us in 22. They say, oh no, well, Trump will hurt us in Maryland. I don't think so, because I think there's going to be a sympathetic change of opinion about Trump in the Biden world, and we start to realize what Trump world really gave to us. Plus, he'll be out there campaigning for all of our candidates. So that's one thing. But I wanted to mention to you, Texas, the Democrats mounted a well-funded campaign to flip 6 Texas congressional seats, outraising Republicans $28 million to $17 million, and also anticipating a 22 gubernatorial bid. Robert Francis Beto Flaco O'Rourke ran the Democrat registration and campaign in Texas. Now, even more astonishing, Mr. Obama and his former Attorney General, Eric Holder, led an effort to mobilize a galaxy of outside groups against a dozen Texas state representatives aiming to take control of the Texas State House of Representatives, and these groups spent $60 million. Now here's where it gets interesting. It all came to nothing. President Trump received 6 million votes, 1.2 million more than he did 4 years ago, and he beat Biden by 700,000 votes. Senator John Cornyn was outspent late in the race, but he defeated his Democrat opponent by more than 1 million votes. Republicans kept those 6 congressional seats and won big margins in the House and the state Senate. So,
Don't mess with Texas.
yeah, hard work.
Basically.
Hard work, and that's what you need to do
Right.
as a party. No matter what party you are, that's what you need to do. Now, one of the things we have to worry about is in this next session of the radical legislature, or as I call it, the Maryland General Asylum, they are going to try to pass legislation to create mail-in voting. And they are going to make voter harvesting legal, and they're very good at it. And our Republican Party is going to have to train Republicans how to do harvesting.
2 minutes.
Big time. So that is another thing I think that's going to happen that we need to worry about. And I think that the party, just my opinion, having served in the legislature 20 years, the Republican committee and the party structure has to get more active in the legislative session
Right.
on issues.
Yeah. Issues are the things that win elections.
That's what they're all about.
Right.
That's what they're all about. All right, so we're going to take a break right now. We'll come back. My friend Will is on the line. I was filling in for Derek Hunter on Friday, and we want Will to talk about some issues related to Biden and the Biden administration. So we'll be right back after this break.
Moisture will start to track up into the mid-Atlantic starting tomorrow night, and rain expected for much of Monday into the first part of the day on Tuesday. But here through the night, we're going to continue with clear skies, low 33. Sunshine ahead for Sunday. Sunday's high 58. Clouds increasing with rain Sunday night, low 45. Monday, showers and thunderstorms mid-60s. Morning shower Tuesday, upper 40s. Richard Welling at the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBS.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
9, 10.
Honey, you have really been making the most of being at home. I haven't seen you work out this hard in years.
I feel great. And honestly, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster that has the TV ads with Frank the Big Hurt Thomas, right?
Yeah, this is an amazing product. The patented ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass. Nugenix is a great way to boost lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Well, you are looking good and have been quite the tiger lately, too. Nugenix is definitely working for you and for me.
Yeah, all I had to do was send them a text to get my complimentary bottle. Text TAP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text TAP to 42424 right now. Text TAP to 42424. That's TAP to 42424.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a merry...
Yeah, hello, Mom. Yeah, I'm not at the bar. I'm at work. Ha! Woo!
Before you zone out or change the station, just listen to a couple of facts.
Just listen to a couple of facts,
Early
okay?
colon cancer is 90% preventable. A colonoscopy.
Krabby Greek, man, big time. Krabby Greek, big time. I'm gonna have to tell you about it because it's so good. They have the best crab cakes in town. 502 Washington Avenue, right there in Towson. Right there in Towson, up the alley. Go up the alley, nice. You're not gonna get robbed at this alley. It's a nice alley.
A colonoscopy
All right.
is the best.
They're open up Monday to Friday from 7
If you're 50 or older.
to 9. These Friday nights is to 10. It's a lot of fun. You're gonna laugh. Friday nights live Greek music right there. I'm gonna tell you that, Roger. And from Saturday, 4 to 10, and they got a DJ. It's all nice. Gonna have a lot of fun. You can sing if you want to sing. Also, they cater 7 days a week, so that's terrific. That's right there. And you should try the Greek style octopus to the freaking 6-ounce crab cake. I'm dying. Are you dying? I'm dying. And because that's how good it is. Once you try, you're gonna die. And for more information, you should call 410. 494-9144. That's 410-494-9144. Give him a call, man. Give him a call.
Need help communicating? At K9 Concepts, we can solve your problems. The answer to your problems is a phone call away. Call 410-477-2000 for a free demo evaluation. Call 410-477-2000. Obedience, protection, handicapped assistance, boarding, grooming, puppy preschool. Visit K9Concepts.com. The best for your dog. Call 410-477-2000.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right. Level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net.
We gonna do? We gonna do?
1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. See the rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1, make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they coughed or sneezed or been outside. 2, virtual playdates, social and physical distancing can help save lives. 3, tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together.
Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
And now back to Super Citizen Radio on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, worldwide at WCBM.com.
Okay, we are back. Our producer has been Ron. What is your last name, Ron?
Savage.
Ron Savage. And Betsy. His assistant is Betsy Savage.
Betsy Bootsy.
Betsy Bootsy.
Savage.
Oh, you got to say the whole name, you know. Betsy Bootsy Savage. And of course, Valerie Bootsy McDonough is here, playing with her phone. This thing's called a microphone, sweetheart.
Yes, I know.
All right. And Tony Campbell, who is running to become the next chairman of the Republican. Is it the Republican State Committee?
The Maryland Republican Party or the Republican State Committee.
Okay. Now, this is a very high-paying position.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell them how much it pays.
It paid $0.
So you're going for this big job, which is going to require all your time, all your effort. You'll be constantly criticized, and you'll be paid nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. But I was asked the question, why do I want to be chairman? Why put yourself through it? You know, and because look, the Republican Party, when you do it right, when you talk about issues that matter, when you actually engage in the marketplace of ideas, the Republican Party is the best option for freedom, liberty,
no question.
and opportunity,
and then it's becoming
and true justice,
becoming even more so.
Right, as opposed to the other
even
side.
More.
That's just, it's just
and
worthless.
You've invested 20 years in the party. You've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of things. You've had a lot of success. You've had a lot of tough times too, and you've stuck it out. And you're just a regular guy. You're a man of the people. Not much of a personality, but generally a nice guy.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
All right, well, we're going to go to my friend Will, and always has an interesting point of view. Will, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. You know, we should be talking about the Maryland Republican Party in the middle of the summer and all. You know, when we don't have a civil war going on like we do right now, you know.
No, they have a big election coming up, Will. The big election is in about 10 days from now, and it's going to determine. And you know, it's important.
Here's what I'm saying, Pat. There's never any preparation for the Republican Party in the state of Maryland. Never. Larry Hogan is a fraud. He's the head of the party. He knocked out the top 3 Republican county executives. He is a disaster for the Republican Party. And then we have various Republican poobahs, you know, and these are all loyal opposition. They're fakes, they're phonies, they're frauds. You don't even want to go see them. You won't even go meet with them because you know how much of a fake they are.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, you know, that's a very that is like a broad brush criticism, and I don't think Tony deserves that. I've known Tony for 20 years, you know.
Well, we only lost 2 county executives. Plus, yeah, we only lost 2. Yeah. Only lost 2. Hey.
We only had 3 to start with. No, but I don't want Tony to be part of that criticism.
The only decent guy there because he's Army, and he probably should have been regular Army. He probably would have been a colonel, you know.
He is a colonel.
I go to Colonel Sanders. That's about Colonel.
I don't want to get dragged down with the Maryland.
No. You called in about Joe Biden, and we'd like to hear your thoughts.
Let's get right to it. You know, Joe Biden is he's a Chinese agent. Dementia Joe is a Chinese Communist Party agent. Him and that commie Kamala Harris, and Sidney Powell and Pam Bondi and Rudy Giuliani have all proved over and over the guilt of Joe Biden. It's false FISA warrants, the false whistleblower complaint, these false charges against General Flynn. You know.
And this guy Blinken, Secretary of State, Blinken, Secretary of State, he's pro-China.
Yeah, he's another Chinese agent. It's a non-starter as far as Senator Cruz is concerned. But here we are, and just look at these cities. Look where we are, though, Pat. We've got all these cities that the FBI and the CIA burned this year in the U.S. You know, we had Senator Rand Paul across the street from the White House at the Republican National Committee night where Trump accepted, and almost right across the street, Rand Paul gets almost killed, and this is right across the street from the FBI headquarters.
Yeah.
And you don't think they knew? I mean, this is an outrage.
It is an outrage, that's for sure.
It's one insult after another. And let me tell you something, Pat. Like I said yesterday, Joe Biden is never going to be president of this country. He is a fake, phony president-elect. They might appoint him as the president of this fake deep state. We are never going to accept him as president of the United States.
He's the president.
Right now.
He's the president against the United States.
Yeah, well, look, Sidney Powell has got so much evidence against these clowns. And by the way, the March for Trump in D.C., December 12th, that's going to go live on tomorrow in 15 hours on Right Side Broadcasting Network, RSBN, on YouTube and all. And, you know, thank God for Colonel Doug Mastriano in the PA. He's the head of the state senate. He's the one that organized that meeting in Gettysburg earlier this week, where they said, we're not accepting this. We don't care about those phony judges up there in PA, whether they were state
they're politicians. They're politicians. That's all they are. They're state politicians.
That's right. They're unelected Democrat judges impersonating the Supreme Court. But here's the thing: they're not going to give those. They're not going to give those electoral votes to Joe Biden. Joe Biden. If you hear that guy Lynn Wood has got that governor, that crooked Republican governor Kemp down in Georgia. He has him by the short hairs, and he has the evidence to put him in prison because all that fake fraud that was going on in Georgia with the there's a water main break, and that's why we have to stop the vote counting at 10 p.m. They've got the video from that Atlanta Hawks Center There was no
Well, I got to tell you, it's getting hot. It's getting more informative. Our side is starting to pick up a lot, and as time goes on, I think it's going to get even stronger.
It's getting the momentum is shifting. You ought to go to YouTube also and watch this.
What is the YouTube network?
X22 report on YouTube. You know, X22 report.
Is that the network?
No, that's the account.
What's the network? Is
The
there?
network, it's YouTube. It's YouTube.
Yeah, but they have networks on them.
Well, I don't know about YouTube, but just go to YouTube and then just type in X22 report.
Okay, all right. Listen, Will, thanks. We'll talk with you next Saturday.
Okay, brother, and I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of the holiday weekend.
You too, sir. Take care.
Have a good night, brother.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, Tony, so let's get back to... So you got a big job ahead of you, and I'll tell you, you are here, in my opinion, for this position at the right time. I truly believe that.
Why, thank you.
No, I think you are. You've got the experience. You've been around. You've been through different...
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to talk about developing the party. You know, I was there as a legislator under Bob Ehrlich. Bob and I are very good friends. I was there as a legislator under Hogan. And I'll tell you the truth, I voted for 95% of Larry Hogan's legislation because he has good legislation, okay? He just doesn't have the power to hold it up, and he's been overridden 38 times. But my problem with Governor Hogan is his lack of help for the Republican Party. The Republican Party has Lincoln Reagan dinners in every county all the time to raise funds. When Bob Ehrlich was governor, he attended all these things. And when you were a legislator or you were a candidate, Governor Ehrlich was the Republican governor. He would come over to your events. He did at least 4 fundraisers for me when I ran. So he was good about that stuff. Larry does nothing. It's like it's the Hogan party and the Hogan chosen people for candidates. And I give an example of why a governor can do great. John Sununu, whose father was a very famous politician, was the governor of Rhode Island. Well, the younger Sununu was just elected to his third 4-year term as governor of New Hampshire. When he entered the governorship 8 years ago, there was a Democrat majority, overwhelming Democrat majority. John Sununu made a pledge to the Republican Party and to conservatives that he would go out and fight every time he had an opportunity. He supported candidates for county commissioner. He supported local Republicans.
I'm going to give him that message right now, Bart. You want to go online?
Conventions. He went to every Lincoln Reagan event in the state, and he gradually built the party up to by in this last election, they took total control of the New Hampshire General Assembly.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now, and that was through his hard work, proving what a governor can do if he's trying to help his party. Hogan has a different viewpoint. Hogan, it is what he is, and we've got to be honest. He's in a state where, in his opinion, I don't agree with the governor, but especially on the Trump stuff. But in general, on the other part of his position is that I'm in a very liberal, radical state, and I've got to take certain positions, and one of those is to not really talk about the Republican Party, and not even help the Republican Party, because it'll kill me or it'll certainly hurt me. But he still presents conservative legislation.
Well, I think that there could have been a better way. While I agree with the political advocates that you don't necessarily need to go out and bang your drum for the Republican Party and do a Republic and do that kind of thing because that's going to hurt you electorally.
In Maryland, right.
But I think that there could have been going to dinners. You know,
that would not hurt him. That would
doing
be
the back,
expected.
doing the backside, doing the infrastructure building of the party.
You're right.
Because that stuff doesn't happen.
Sharing the funds, too. He had a lot of money. Hogan was a good fundraiser. I know members of the state senate told me when they went to him to do television to help them out, he made them use his television company, which was very costly for them, instead of giving them money and raising money for them. But one of the things the governor never had to do was to attack President Trump. He thought he got mileage out of that in the state of Maryland. And he went out. He should have just kept his mouth shut.
I don't think it would have mattered either way.
Right.
I think that he would have got reelected without talking about
he didn't have to do that. But anyway, okay, so we're talking about state politics tonight because it is important. I know we're in the middle of the Joe Biden stuff, and I just talked about it for
2 minutes, heartbreak.
for 2 days on the Derek Hunter show, and I'll be talking about it a great deal more, and we're very involved in the effort to help the president. Super Citizen is very involved. Super Citizen is a big Trump organization, even though it's not an official Republican organization. So anyway, we're working hard, and Tony, we want to thank you. We wish you well. We think you would be an important addition, and really, to the Republican Party. We know you'll do a good job.
Well, I want to thank Valerie for having me here, and yeah, you too, Pat.
We'll have you back again, Tony. Many more times.
You say so.
Okay.
She's the boss.
Yes, she is. What's that old saying? He who has the money, he who has the gold rules, or something. The golden rule. Something.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, it's been a good show, promising show here, and our good friend, who we don't agree with on anything, is coming up.
True.
Tom Arani.
50 seconds.
So, if you don't agree with us, you'll love him, and you can argue. If you do agree with us, you can argue with him.
Don't remember. Don't forget.
What? Always remember, truth and knowledge guarantee liberty. Keep the faith.
And keep punching.
And I'm sure Tom agrees with us very strongly about freedom.
Absolutely.
We all do. All right. Thank you all for listening. Catch you next week.
Stay connected and stay informed on the #1 news talk station, Talk Radio 680, WCBM, Baltimore, and WCBM.com.
WCBM?
The coronavirus spike continues. I'm
WCBM,
Sam
Tom
Press of Fox News. States across the country continue
Hey,
to
Mark.
try to stop the spread of the
Get
coronavirus
you in here.
as new case numbers mount.
South Dakota became the latest state to have at least one COVID-19 death for every 1,000 residents. Other states on that grim list span across the country, from New York to Louisiana to the hard-hit upper
right, hold on, Mark,
Midwest and North
get you on.
Dakota. As of yesterday, the U.S. saw 17 straight days of record COVID hospitalizations.
Fox's Christina Cole
Okay, Maine.
reporting from Los Angeles. Some promising news on the potential
Bada bing, bada
distribution
boom,
of a
bada bing.
coronavirus vaccine.
2 weeks from today, people could start getting
Bada bing, bada boom.